the hardest thing when growing as a young person is first, nobody takes you serious. Huyu kijana ni nini anajua? Can he? You know, you don't tell an African mother you're going to start a business, especially the ones from my region. Yes, like we don't believe in business. We believe in being employed. The people who are stealing from you are the ones who end month, they will call you. Haujatulipa. Alinipea so moja. Mimi nikasema, first, how do you have 100,000 in account at campus?
Welcome to Daktari, where voices, perspectives, and sounds relating to healthcare practitioners and matters health are amplified. This is a podcast by Daktari Online, created for healthcare professionals across Kenya. Each episode brings you honest conversations, expert insights, and real-life stories from the front lines of care. Welcome back. I'm still joined by Dr. Maxwell Okoth, and from his personal journey, now we are going to jump into the birth of RFH. So, Daktari, how did the concept, of RFH start? Where did it begin from? When did the whole plan out, map out, all that?
A lot has changed. So after graduating on the 10th of December, 4th or 5th of December 2010, I was pushed to the world. So we are waiting to be posted for internship in January 2011. Internship delays. We were the first interns there in the internship delays. Nowadays, I think it's a normal thing, but we were the first group. Remember, we were going to demonstrate at Afia House. We pushed that gate, I think it hit my head. I usually have a mark over here. Yeah, so we were posted in April. 4 months later, I went to Kiambu District Hospital. That was now my second phase of seeing what the world is going through. So Kiambu District Hospital was like a Nairobi provincial hospital, because Nairobi only had KNH and Bagathi. Bagathi at that time was more like a TB hospital. It was an extension of Kenyatta, but the TB side, because TB was too much. And so KNH was full. So anyone along Thika Road, Mathare, everyone, they used to go to Kiambu, because Kiambu was not. And so we were very busy. We had one theater, and we would book elective gynecological conditions. You find a mother is booked 2 years later. We had one ultrasound, but because there's one radiologist and she's the one doing reporting for x-rays and ultrasounds, ultrasounds were booked, a basic thing like an ultrasound. So you're pregnant, or we are suspecting a cord around neck, you're booked 2 weeks. Are you getting me? But it's an emergency. Or you have fibroids which are bleeding, but you're booked 2 years later. So basically, we're telling you, go and die and come back so that we sign your D1.
Wow.
And the access to healthcare was insane. And so there were mushrooming facilities outside the hospital and everything. And I asked myself, what can I do to change this thing? And so, the idea of setting up a hospital came in. But that's actually not where the idea came from. Because so I started with OBS-GYN. I worked in maternity, then from there I went for medical round. So when you work in maternity, you have surgical skills. When you work in medical, you have medical skills. And there's one of these doctors who was my supervisor who used to work at Nairobi Women's. And so I got a chance to go there and locum under her supervision. So that was at Nairobi Women's in Hurlingham. So when I was there, I was like, wow, because if you leave the main hospital, there's the annex, small, it was a house. Like, oh, okay, this was a 4-bedroom house. If this guy's done it, then I can do it. So that's where the idea to set up came in. And so we said, so where are we setting up? And how are we getting the money? So initially I was thinking of pipeline, because pipeline, you know how pipeline is. Yes, the population and everything. Then my wife, she was a girlfriend at that time, tells me, hey, my father has bought some land in Ruai, and the Eastern Bypass has been tarmacked, and there's no doctor. You need to go visit. So that's how we ended up here. I then borrowed money from my mother. So my mother had lost her job. Just 2010, before my graduation, The Barclays Bank was downsizing because they were exiting the African market. They were selling to Amalgamated Bank of South Africa, that's ABSA. Yes, so they laid off. I remember one day she was going to work, she was told, report to your regional supervisor, and that's how her job ended. So I knew she had some money somewhere. You know those two golden handshakes, and then I'm like, hey, mom, see, you don't tell an African mother you're going to start a business, especially the ones from my region. Yes, so like we don't believe in business. We believe in being employed. Actually, my father asked me, why are you struggling here? And doctors are being paid 3,000 to see people and write prescriptions. Why don't you just continue with your school? I said, Dad, it's okay. So yeah, so I told her I'm going to buy a piece of land. Because that's what would have convinced her that, oh, I want to buy a piece of land so that I build a home so I don't pay rent. See, that tells a parent you're responsible. Yeah, so she gave me money. Half of it, of course, there was a piece of land I was eyeing in Kitangala. So I paid deposit. Then the other half, when I came to Ruai, the same day I came here, I paid deposit. And that's how it started. It was like a small 2-bedroom apartment. Huko kwa soko. I pass there every day and I look at that building. Yes, today it's not there's 2 shops there. There's like a wines and spirits, I think, yeah.
I'd like to commend your younger self at that time, because the inspiration came from a place of need and not just your need.
No. That time it was not mine. I was actually
the social space in healthcare.
It was the impact that we are going to do. So,
and that is so touching.
So yeah, I mean the sacrifices. I would not wish to go back there, to be honest with you.
But we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Now.
So okay, the problems now are bigger. But those ones were more painful.
But I've ever had a saying that says bigger problems, bigger challenges, big money. Small problems, small challenges.
I'm not sure about the big money because I'm not here to see it. But
well, you know when you say, because that means you're at a not literal, but it means you are now in a capability of handling the big challenges. Because again, I'm also a believer.
But those ones are too much.
I'm also a believer of God cannot put you in a place you cannot win that battle.
No, you can lose yourself. You can lose yourself. Yeah. So so it came in. It was a 2-bedroom. So the living room was a reception and waiting area. 1 bedroom was a pharmacy and nursing station. The other bedroom was a consultation. The laboratory was the kitchen was a laboratory.
Hey, now take us back. As much as you've already started, just take us back to now that first, point where now you're having, of course, limited resources, fast patients, emotions are still there. How did that go about and all that? Even from the woof. I'm sorry to take you back there.
It's those things.
But we still need to see the staircase.
There was a time I was in campus and we had teamed up with a friend of mine and we wanted to start a stall. You know these stalls in Biashara Street? Yes. So we tulichanga na tukalipa deposit na rent ya 10,000. We wanted to sell... No. We wanted to sell rims. These rims of printing papers, because we knew zinatoka huko, you buy at 1,800, you sell at 2,300, 500. And you see the UN people used to photocopy. Yes, every time. Tulilipa deposit na tukaanza biashara. Imagine a campus student losing 10,000. We didn't have capital.
Oh, so you only had rent.
So we started with rent without knowing where the capital was coming from.
Yes.
So I said I'll never repeat that mistake. So when I paid the deposit and rent here, I said I must do it. So I called a carpenter, tukachonga waiting seats, eka frame, nunua mattress, nunua hii kitu inakaa leather hivi, eka juu, PVC. We tukatengeneza MDF na reception, tukaeka, what do you call them? Shelves, pesa ikaisha. But at least I have something. So I said I have to start. I went and cried to my girlfriend. Hey boss, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. I was shocked. Imagine she was in campus. She told me, let's go. So we went to Cooperative Bank, Ngong Road. She went to the bank and came with an envelope of 100,000 shillings. You see, women from God.
Hey, that was your wife.
Yeah.
That was...
Alinipea so moja. Mimi nikasema, first, how do you have 100,000 in account at campus? Mimi pesa yangu ilikuwa inaisha before 24th iishe. Because my mother used to be paid on 24th. Hiyo 24th niko kwa ATM hivi. Na ngoja. So, I was like, hi. So we bought the first drugs, medicine, nini, what. Then, yeah, that's how we started. So we said, we must start. So of course hatuna pesa kutengeneza kibao, nikaitaka walikuwa it was nani, some this village drunkards who paint these boards. Katengeneza ka plywood, tukatengeneza Ruai Family Medical Center, consultation, nini, family planning. Tukaeka hapo. I have those pictures. I look at them and I say, wow. So tukaihang huko na ka sisal rope. Yeah, tunangoja patients wakuje. So I am living in Kiambu. I'm an intern and I have to come to the clinic. So after my rounds nakimbia huku. Then jioni nafunga naenda. Then later on I have to employ people. So I employed a clinical officer, nika employ nurse who was also the receptionist and a lab tech. Kwambia by the way, hakuna mshahara mtaenda kulipwa, pesa mtatengeneza ndio mshahara yenu. So you are the collectors of the money. Yes. If you eat it, it's up to you. I used to go withdraw my internship salary to pay these people. Then I'm left with nothing. So it reached a point I could not pay the rent in Kiambu. So I said, double up. This hospital, clinic will be your house. So nikahama Kiambu nikakuja hapo kwa clinic. So usiku unaishi hapo, unalala, mchana unatoka, unaoga, unaenda Kiambu, jioni unarudi. So I'm the night doctor. I cover the night. So we are now 24 hours. Then mchana ni clinical officer. Well. So now I started now borrowing money. These guys called Shylocks, they became my friends.
Oh my God.
Hey, where? Kuna time mshahara yangu sasa umejua ile a third. Nilikuwa nimecommit mshahara mpaka the last amount. So my rent, so after that nikapostiwa Nyeri. So rent ya Nyeri ni 10k. Paid slip yako ni 9k. So every month you are -1. Huku kwa clinic unaibiwa kuibiwa. Kenyans and their culture. There's no supervision. We didn't have HMIS. We didn't have CCTVs. We didn't. I tell you, there's a day I slept in my room for a week. I just didn't want to wake up. I was tired. My wife akakuja akanambia, changamka akanitumia 20k. Nikasikia, hii pesa pia nakuangana. Ni dawa kivyake. Nikamka kidogo, nikapata ka nguvu ya kuface world. Cause huku nje boss masimu na nini zilikuwa zimekuwa mingi. So I was like, okay. Yeah, so it was terrible, to be honest.
I can only imagine.
It's, the people who are stealing from you are the ones who end month, they will call you. Haujatulipa. We need money. Nafungiwa nyumba. That time they create emergencies.
You still have much to tell us about all that journey, how you handle all that pressure.
The time checks were bouncing and suppliers and okay.
But one thing also, again, I'm going to add on that list is a supportive partner.
That one, I have said this, I will never forget. Me, if you do good to me, I'll never forget. That is one principle I believe in. And this is something I will keep saying. Yes.
So you've already talked about, you've given a few examples of how you secured funding to at least run the business at the time, which I'm also getting, it had its own hardships. You even had to move from Kiambu at least, which again, I'm getting it's like you're not even having enough rest at that time. You can't. Because you started something and you really want to see it go up to fruition. Wow.
Kosa pesa ukose chakula.
But then how did you now reach a point where now you can build a team that you can trust?
So I was sent to Nyeri. So when I was sent to Nyeri, I was now a medical officer, not an intern. So I was supervising clinical officers and medical officers interns. So I met this very young, smart boy, clinical officer, very good at his work. So he's finishing his internship. So we have gone for a CME. I asked him, hey boss, what's your plan after this? After 2 jobs, but kuna place mi uendanga, lokam uko Ruai. I'm like, Ruai? Yeah, okay, mi pia niko na kakibanda pale Ruai. We need to talk. So nikamwambia boss, mimi naye hapa si ati niko na pesa ya kukulipa, but nataka kukupea hii place. He was very reliable. You run it, you will see the money coming. So that means since you're the one handling, you'll pay yourself first. But I want to trust you. But me, I'll tell you, if we succeed, you will never regret. So that's where the turning point was. So I got someone to stay here. And that's when things started turning around. So things became better, things changed. And so I had an eye who was there. We're still with him today. He's a general manager for the branches. yeah, so yeah, we've grown together over the years.
That also tells something again. That I'm adding more things on the list. You do not leave your people.
If you want to leave, I'll tell you leave. But there are some who have left but still come back. So sometimes you tell someone you think the grass is green on the other side. Si kuzuri sahi.
Okay, sometimes it's not even a matter of just the grass being greener on another side. Sometimes I also believe some people come into our life to reach us to some level.
To a certain level, yes. But also maybe God is opening their next level. So it's only fair enough to hand them over and bless them. Yes, so yeah.
But I'm glad that you worked with him. Now you're saying he's a general manager for all.
Yes. Wow. He was a clinical officer. He's done his degree. I think he's doing his master's. Yeah.
And now within your narration, I get a point where you had doubts. You had points where you ask yourself, can I really do this? Of course, there were those moments. There were those moments like, oh, do I just do away with it because it's also strange? Yes, of course. But then how did you push through?
Oh, there was a time I was shutting down. I was closing. And then I was just told, hold on a bit. It's dark before dawn. And then, then things just started changing. Roy started becoming known. The bypass was opening up. People are now moving in. Then I worked my way. I used to knock at Afia House every Friday looking for a transfer. Sorry to bring this, but sometimes our tribal nature is very bad. I remember the head of that office one day asking me, you're looking for a transfer to Nairobi? What's your name? Maxwell. Maxwell who? Okoth. No. No, Nairobi was known to be a working station for sons and daughters of who and who. And if you're affiliated to the right, you get. But I was like, boss, you could be denying me that transfer and my son is your niece because I'm married to the other side. Me, I'm not, I'm a Kenyan. Yeah, luckily, Uhuru brings free maternity service and Pumwani needs more doctors. So this secretary remembers, hey, there's a boy who's looking for a transfer. I found my calling letter in the front page of Nation newspaper. I was posted in front of Nation newspaper that Pumwani gets new doctors to expand service for maternity services. That's how I ended up in Nairobi. So when I came to Nairobi, so now I would work in Pumwani, and that time it was allowable. I would work in Pumwani and come supervise this place, work in Pumwani and come supervise this place.
And of course, at this point now, the team is also growing.
The team is growing. He's there.
You even have now even a finance someone.
No, we had not grown to that point. We had a counter book with 2 lines, name, amount, service. So kuna consultation, laboratory, pharmacy, procedure, 20, 200, yes. Yeah, so I came to Nairobi. Then now Roy grew. We started getting corporate clients, insurance.
And before I forget, why did you name it at that point, Roy Family?
Me, I was starting a private practice. It was a clinic for a doctor. So I'm in Roy. So ni clinic iko Roy.
But the
family ni a family. We want to serve the mother. Because me, I was more inclined to obs and gyne. Yes, so I was more to the female. So first you get the confidence of the mother. Then the mother will give you the baby. Then the baby will bring the family. Then when the husband ever decides to go to hospital, they will ask the mother, the wife, unaendanga wapi? So that's how you get the family. So that's how the family came in. And then, so I came to Nairobi. Then now things started growing up. Then we were getting our corporate clients being onboarding us because we are a doctor in Roy. Though we were in a small place, then I started realizing we can't grow beyond where we were. It was a very tiny place. So I started searching for a big place. That's how we ended up in the facility you passed. Then Youth Fund came in. So confidence too. Imagine ile kitu naambiwa vitu za gava, unless you know someone, don't try. Mi nikaenda nikatry laki yangu. So they needed us. They had a product called VUCA loan. So they would give you up to 2 million. So ile shamba nilikuwa nimelipanga Kitengela now comes through. So I use it as collateral. They give me 1.8. I pay rent for this other place. We do partition. So we have a 10-bed hospital. Kuna ka maternity, nini, what, ultrasound, x-ray.
On my list again, I'm adding risk taker. The trial and error. I'm receiving it a lot. And of course, you've mentioned that you tried something. Of course, you've called it the youth
Youth fund.
Yes, the youth fund. And yes, something that was when you walk in your office, I noticed a lot of awards and all that. And with your storytelling and your narration of your journey and everything, I can really tell that you were doing this. You're not in the place of expecting that let it happen, let me win.
When you are inside a pool, you either swim or you drown. Yes. So I always say, dive, then figure out outside there. If you drown, you die. You say you tried. You dove. You dove and you dove and you died. Yes. Yeah. So that's I usually say, jitume.
And you're also persistent. You've mentioned one of the hurdles was to you to get transference to now Nairobi. But now if you could mention more other, challenges that you did pass to even get to the networking and the whole, for the facility to...
The hardest thing when growing as a young person is first, nobody takes you serious. Huyu kijana ni nini anajua? Can he? So I've had to fight a lot with that. Secondly is your peers don't take you seriously. I've grown up building a hospital, and most people who would want to come are your peers. Peers think they're working for you. You understand? Mbona nijenge Maxi? Peer rivalry and peer envy and peer. Mbona nijenge Maxi? You understand? They would treat you harsher than they treat someone else. And I've had to fight some of those. Very few people are genuine. Most of the people want what they can get. So I mean, it's been a whole roller coaster of lessons and disappointments.
You will always have to pray for discernment.
It's
sometimes something you've repeated over and over.
Sometimes you ask yourself, why did I get here? Is it worth it? Then you look at where you've come from and what keeps me more moving are the people who've believed in this enterprise. We've had multiple times of very difficult moments financially. We've had scandals, either genuine or ingenuine, put on us. But there are people who always say, I will stand with this. And they have stood with this. So I say, if they can stand with this, then who am I to disappoint them? Because they're looking at me. I cannot fail them. And that's what keeps me going. Yeah. So I cannot fail them. I like Maxi tuko hapa. We know things are take, but we will sail through. And they've always stood by us. There are times things are thick and you don't even have salaries to pay them. These people come and tell you my door is being closed. You're like, but don't worry, it shall be well. Sometimes you walk here and you're dejected and somebody just comes, sasa doc, uko salama? Tuko na wewe tunakuombea, So those things keep you going and they keep you moving. Yeah.
And if I'm to take you back now in the first facility, and of course, even now we're building now the networks, of course, even from the birth of them, and it actually was to serve more people, needy people. It was even in a setup where those people are not really well off. It's a place where also we will get 1 or 2 or 3 patients a day, with my understanding, because for you to even say the people you've hired, that term sounds odd then, that mtajilipa na kiasi ya pesa mmepata. See? So how did you maintain the fact that you have to now serve these needy patients and still manage the business, sustainability?
I have always believed that the cost of healthcare can be manageable. What pushes the cost of healthcare is actually non-healthcare related costs. Yes. I used to work in Pumwani Maternity Hospital and we would deliver 100 women a day. 80 normally, 20 cesarean section. A mother in labor, sorry to use this word, and please forgive me, let nobody twist it out of context. It's like a cow in labor. How many cows need an intervention of a veterinary doctor? It's a natural process. And so the most we do was a giving set, normal saline, and put probably syntocin on to augment. And these women would push. What is the cost of that service over and above the cost of the labor? And so we came in and said, that time, most private hospitals were in the category B of NHIF, which was non-comprehensive. Category C, I think C or B. So as we choose a comprehensive, whereby whatever you're paid is all. The patient does not add anything. And so we would be paid 30,000 for a cesarean section, 10,000 for a normal delivery. And we still had our margins. You understand? And so people copied a lot of that, and private hospitals entered into that thing, and it changed. NHIF is not there anymore. And so that was a context that things can be done differently. In India, a CT scan is 4,000 shillings. A CT scan here is 8 to 12,000 shillings. You understand? So I say the cost of healthcare is gone up, not because of healthcare related costs. Our taxation system needs to change. There are a lot of things that are put here regulatory wise. We have about 15, 20 licenses. I started a business with 300,000. You cannot start a clinic today with 300,000 because the license of a laboratory alone is that 300,000. So today your cost of licenses has shot up almost 10 times compared to what it was 10 years ago. So we also need to reflect ourselves and say health is a social good, and how can we change some of these things to make it better? We do health in credit, which makes cash flow the biggest headache in a hospital operator. When I give you service in credit, I have to employ a liaison person between the hospital and the insurance. I have to employ a credit control manager to follow that money. I have to give you a discount to pay me promptly. I have to bear the cost of rejections because the credit has paperwork. I have to take the cost of the paperwork. This increases the cost of service. That should not have been there compared to somebody who comes and pays me 200. So you find healthcare was cheaper then than it is today. So those are things we need to sit down and have very genuine, honest conversations and say, what can we do? Can the payers be compelled to pay on time? You understand? So that I don't have to have someone knocking their doors. And can the service be costed within the real service it is? Can the margin of pharmaceuticals between the production and the patient be fixed at a certain percentage? So if you're going to be 30 people between the pharmaceutical manufacturing plant and the patient, you 30 people share that fixed cost. But today we have cartels. Kenya is a trading company. So everybody's trading. Somebody brings, I think what is now selling is what, Monjaro or Ozempic. Somebody buys at this and sells at what. And you know, all these things. So the cost of diabetic drugs in India for a whole month is 1,500. Come here. You get? Yeah. So, but of course, the operator takes all the blame. The hospitals will be blamed. If I tell you the real story of healthcare system, you will never understand. You'll never see behind the curtain. The hospitals will always take the blame. Of course, the hospitals have their issues to deal with, but the reality on the ground is very different. Yes.
There's also other more tying, which are not even health related.
Or not health related.
Yes, the taxes you've mentioned.
Yes.
Oh God, the government. Oh wow. Do you believe we can get back, not to what it was because of course, but then get back to a point where
the day we decide to be honest with each other, maybe. But I don't think.
When is that? That's you telling me.
Yeah, but I don't know. I always choose hope.
And now here we are. You even have now RFH with a cancer center, and you've innovated more things. So my question to you is, how has technology, because at that time, of course, you just started with desks and a laboratory there with the basic medic and, so how has technology and innovation, for example, the CT scans, and then there's new one that I've had, the lutetium, yes, that one, transformed your facilities and patient outcomes?
In life, when you're growing, you need to know how to always transform with the current time. So we were known for maternity and everything. A lot of facilities came in. Then we built up the specialist hospital because we needed to move from that ground to a next level. Then COVID comes in, and everybody buys ventilators and everything, and ICUs become a normal thing. There's a time we'd get patients from Narok. It's a good thing. Investment in healthcare has grown. And so now we say, what else can we do that is not? So we look at the data and we say, wow, the statistics in cancer in this country are overwhelming. It's terrible. When you're diagnosed with cancer, you are 85% sure you're going to die. You understand? Basically, it's like cancer is a death sentence. So I took the liberty to walk around the world and just see what the world is doing. And we visited a couple of centers. We went to Istanbul, looked at Acıbadem, went to Ankara University Hospital, I went to Hannibal in Tunisia, which is the second ranking in healthcare in this country. There's another cancer center I went to in Cape Town, just to see what they're doing. And the outcomes are amazing. And that's why the who and who in this country get cancer and they walk out and they come back and they're living. So we said, we need to do something. It's a very expensive investment, insanely expensive. Basically, as we speak, I've mortgaged my life and everything and my children's future for this investment. It must work or it doesn't work. You understand? But for me, I'm like, I'm doing this for Kenyans. One day, you know, some of us are never appreciated when we are alive. You get, so it's for Kenyans. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, I think we rang the bell on the first patient who was declared cancer-free after treatment. And I said, I mean, for me, that was a justification that I didn't do a mistake. Yes. I've had sleepless nights on this project. One way, the financier who had decided to finance had their own issues and they didn't disburse the whole amount. So we had a shortfall of the funding. We were now not paying doctors and everything because money is a problem and you're deep inside. And you ask yourself, did I do a mistake? But I think looking at now what is coming out, I'm like, God was probably taking me to the furnace to strengthen me for even better things ahead. I mean, there are times you deal with anxiety, depression, and it's messy. I tell people, business, I respect business leaders in Africa. When people see that building, they think there's money in account somewhere. And of course, extortionists will knock on your door. The past 3 years have been terrible. I would sit here, look like I'm normal, but things are not, you get. But I say there are investments and things you do that probably your children, the blessings will be transferred to them, or your generation. You probably not me.
That's a great
yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've had to sell most of my assets and everything here and there to just make it work to where it is. I give hope. Today, I would say you can count the number of oncology units in Africa that have the same setting of investment. You can count. They're not more than the palm of your fingers. And so to have that in Kenya, for me, is a win, not just for me, but for this country and this region. We have had patients coming from Zambia. We've had patients coming from Congo, Ethiopia, Somalia, to come to Ruai. Who knew Ruai? When I was coming to Ruai, Ruai was known as the sewage of this country, because that's where all the sewage of Nairobi goes. I don't know what changed nowadays. I don't smell that thing every day at 4 p.m. I don't know, maybe the trees became more. Yeah, the air has changed. So I foresee a medical city in this place one day. Now we have a college coming in. God knows, it might be a university tomorrow. And so we have to always aspire to advance. There's nothing the Western world does better than us. And the solution and change will start with us, not anyone else. Whoever comes here to put in money is coming to collect and go with it. So it should be our pride that one of us is doing it. Because the most, if at all, let's say I ever make money, the investment here, I don't know, it will take me 15 years to ever return back that money, to be honest. Will I be alive? God knows. But you see, whatever it is, if I ever make, will still be here. So technology is advancing very fast, and we need, today there's AI. How can we employ AI in making medical decisions? How can we employ AI in looking at our data? Because one thing we have not invested as Africans is data. We do things by emotions. Data needed to have informed us that cancer is growing, and we need to have planned for investment in cancer cure and management. Next thing are going to be lifestyle diseases, non-communicable diseases, diabetes, hypertension. So we need to start thinking of that direction. But we are reactive and not proactive. With technology today, with 11 branches, how do you unite these branches? Today at 1 a.m., I get a telegram message on my phone with every data and report of all the branches. That's how much technology is working for us. And it's AI enabled that gives me the gradual breakdown of how the branches are performing and how things are doing, customer satisfaction scores and all those things. Of course, you have cameras, and now those problems we had when we are starting are not there. Patient would complain, and you have a way to follow back on how their journey was. And so, yes, you can never wish away technology.
And now, a great question you've talked about now, the branches. What influenced, if you can just, say it briefly, now the birth of the other,
branches?
Yes.
Grow big or go home. number
Oh,
one.
Yes. Yes.
Number two, we needed to build a brand and give service closer to the people. 80% of what takes people, because you're told we were a family hospital,
Yes.
to hospital, are more. Very few people go to hospital for very advanced things. So we wanted to bring these boutique hospitals closer home. Previously, most people, all hospitals were on Gong Road or Aga Khan in Parklands.
Yes.
So if you're living in Syokimau and you've built a home in Syokimau and your wife is giving birth and you're working in Upper Hill, so you go to Syokimau, pick her, take her.
Yes.
Then now every day when she's there, people always believed chakula hospitali na ya nyumbani. So you go home to Syokimau, make food, drive, and there's traffic. We didn't have expressway to Nairobi Hospital, sit there, feed, then go back home, and you have to wake up in the morning for work. You get my point? So we said, can we bring this service closer home? So most of our hospitals are boutique. You can deliver there. You can have your dental cleaned there. You can have your x-ray, your ultrasound, your laboratory. So we were basically bringing this service to your doorstep. So I would easily come from work, pass the hospital, sit with my wife comfortably from 7 to 9, to pick a story. Then after that, niende home, nioge, nilale. Asubuhi before niende job, I can pass there, talk to her, and go back to work. My life is not interrupted. Nothing changes. Basically, when you're coming up with an invention, you have to solve a problem. And that's what we were doing. Yes.
Okay. So you've built something remarkable, and it's so inspiring. Truly, it is.
Thank you.
And it's also bringing that real and human side, where for it to be here, for us to see a beautiful building servicing us in the greatest way possible, you had, and your team had to go through challenges, you had to face them, you had doubts. You're still human at the end of the day.
Yep.
But then pushing and, the resilience, the persistence, the prayers, the answered ones and the unanswered ones, the wait.
They will be answered.
Yes. Amen.
God says have faith.
So we are also done for this segment. But then I have fun engagement questions. I'll ask you 3. So I'll ask one, you ask me one. You ready?
You didn't prepare me.
No, that's just fine.
So,
you don't have to
fine.
think hard.
Okay.
Yes. So do you remember your very first patient at RFH? And what was that like?
Do you remember our very first patient? No, I used to come home. I used to come to the clinic and say, did someone come? So most of the first ones were inquiries. I know we remember baby number 1. For us, that was big. Baby number 1, and we have been keeping track to date. Yes.
Oh, so
They
that
are
means she's
now
around
13
13 years. Wow. Grade 8, 9? Okay.
Yeah, that's
the
an
CBC.
adult. Very soon we'll have, Yes.
Okay, ask me a question.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Well, my dream, from a younger age, I wanted to be a pilot. But then I also had interest in media. Plus, also I got it a lot from my family with the talkativeness. Although I'm still an introvert, I'm a talkative introvert actually.
When I tell you I'm shy, you doubt. You see?
No, I don't.
Yes.
I didn't doubt. I got to understand. Yes, because I'm this person you might think I'm really outgoing, but I'm an introvert who still needs to go back and recharge. So I would get a lot that you would make really good for TV and stories and all that. So of course, media was also partly around there. So I see myself as an anchor in a great TV station. Amen to that.
Amen. Great. No, it's coming.
Yes.
If you read The Alchemist, it says, if you want something so bad, the universe conspires to give it to you. This guy walked around the world and came back where he started from. Yes.
So that's where I see myself in the next 5 years.
Amen.
Yes. Okay, so my next question. What's a funny or memorable moment from those early startup days?
Funny or memorable moments?
Yes, the one that you're laughing at. That's the one I want. That one, don't change it.
Okay. How we got our first son.
Wow.
I think we went to town, bought a mattress at Natumwa Mega. I just got in a house in Utawala. Yes, and that's how we made our first child.
That
On the floor, no bed. So yes. So I look at that boy, I say, my friend.
Were you doing it, with consciousness of knowing that this
No.
Huh?
It was, I think after that we went back to Nyeri. We went for a party. I'm like, what? Jesus. I'm sorry I'm bringing someone on this story. They are not meant to be
No,
here.
no, no,
but
no,
yes.
no. It's good. It's good.
Yes.
And that's why you're laughing like.
I mean, we didn't even have a mattress. So we were like, where? Tumelipa rent, but tunaenda kulala wapi? You know. Yes.
And I'm getting this a lot from you. You're paying rent, but God will atatupatia viti na
Mimi ni
vitanda
wa
na.
Mungu. Mimi ni wa Mungu. Yeah. No, nowadays I'm starting to plan. I'm being a better planner. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. If you don't mind, how old is your son now?
He's 12.
12. Oh, wow.
He's wearing my clothes that I used to wear 6 months ago with no adjustments.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've realized mi si mtoto anymore.
Wewe si mtoto. Waona huwa wanakuhumble. Wanaangalia mimi ni mzee.
When did I get
Kidogo
here?
naelekea kwa babu.
Yes.
Okay, ask me a question.
What is the most, how do I say? What is the most embarrassing moment you've done in your line of job?
That is a good one.
Tit for tat.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, I started as a health intern. So of course I was still a baby with terms of health stuff. So I'm with a doctor. I'm questioning a doctor. It was around breast cancer. So she was talking about the type. I've already forgotten them.
Ductal carcinoma.
Yes, those. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked a very weird question, and the way she looked at me. But then she didn't look at me in a bad. Actually, she's the one who now made me feel comfortable in my skin. That even when I meet a doctor, I don't have to know it all. I have to ask all the questions, because if I don't understand it, how will the lay person understand it? So I remember it was such an awkward moment that you remember those moments that when you replay them, you're like, I can't I wouldn't have asked it. So I was in that place. I was like, wow. And we're not the only the two of us. So there was also other people, of course, who are also, medic savvy more than me. So it was just like a weird moment. But I also laugh at it. I look back and I laugh at it. It has made me listen out with doctors as well. I'll meet with more different cadres, different specializations of doctors across the field, and I get to understand that I do not know these things, and I'm a media literally for the doctor terms, the scientific terms to lay person. So
it's always better when a non-doctor is asking, because you will ensure that only when you understand does the viewers understand. We have this tendency of always saying these names like it's normal. Yes. A normal doctor interviewing a doctor would not be a good interview. Yes. Otherwise, we'll end up in a medical jargon and lose.
Yeah, we lose all the time. Like, I'm already bored at
they're showing off. Yes.
they're learning friends. The learned friends are showing off.
Yeah.
But so yes. Now, my next question: if your leadership style was a Kenyan dish, what would it be and why?
Chapombili beans.
That is
easy
peasy, and you can eat it in a katakata.
Katakata, it's how you want it. Yes.
Nice. Okay. But I don't think you may maliada you.
That's Mike.
Now ask me a last question.
Last question. Who annoys you most out of these three people in your crew?
Wow. Is there anyone who annoys me? Okay, none. I'll be honest, none.
No, producer zero.
She's still new to me. Maybe she will be the one who annoys
producers me. Can be, they don't get you.
No, not really. Actually, it's...
You're being diplomatic.
No, I'm being honest. Let me tell you, they'll tell you, I'm a very blatant, like I can say it the way it comes. Sometimes even I'm like, oops, I wish I stayed with that with me. I wish I stayed with that with me. But then I just say it out loud. But then this is a really great team. They've been patient with me. You even see the way I break, they'll be patient with me. They've never taken me in a point where I have to feel pressured or tightened up, or as much as sometimes I'll be like, wait, this guest is, of course you're a new person to me today. I'll be like, wait, let me tell you something. I was like, how will I be able to do this? But they'll believe in me if I believe in myself. So maybe they're yet to one and
to push you there.
And if we ever meet, I'll tell you which one.
Coming.
But at this point,
okay.
It's a great team.
Okay.
And thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So you've built, again, I'll repeat, something very remarkable. But in our next session, we're going to talk more about now the healthcare landscape, because it's just bigger than one institution. It's bigger than RFH. So we're going to talk about the Kenya's health system, the future, and you already partly started talking about it, the changes that you would have recommended. We can go into the policy and all that. But for now, our listeners, get hooked. That's what we're going to talk about next.